Hey everyone, I'm your digital marketing guide from SmartThoughts. We're a vendor-neutral software advisement firm for associations and nonprofits. Today, we're doing an executive briefing on MemberSuite AMS. Now, let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. This is not a vendor introduction, and it's definitely not a product pitch. Instead, think of this explainer as a detailed, independent review. We're focusing strictly on organizational fit, the real-world trade-offs, and what this decision actually means for your association's leadership team.
Look, you've probably already scoured the vendor websites, right? You've sat through those super polished demos or maybe read some AI-generated summaries of what this platform can do. Because of that, the most crucial point I can make right now is that this explainer is not a universal recommendation to just go out and buy it. This is guidance. It's meant to help you and your executives think through this decision properly. We're really here to cut through all that marketing noise and surface what actually matters when you're deciding whether to seriously evaluate or shortlist this platform.
All right, so let's dive into exactly where MemberSuite fits into the giant, sometimes confusing AMS ecosystem. This platform is purposefully designed as a Tier 2 mid-market system. It sits incredibly comfortably right between those inflexible, out-of-the-box software packages designed for smaller groups and the massively expensive, totally custom enterprise platforms. Basically, it's built for associations with operating budgets of $2.5 million and up who also have a moderate level of technical sophistication. Honestly, if your budget is under $2.5 million, its capabilities might just completely exceed what you actually need. But if you're north of $15 million, you might actually require deeper, custom enterprise solutions.
Okay, let's translate that market position into some core operational strengths. I really don't want to just rattle off a list of features here. Let's talk about how these things actually change your day-to-day operations. First off, their bidirectional API is a massive standout. It doesn't just pull data out of the system, it pushes and pulls. This means you can connect all those specialized best-of-breed tools you love while maintaining absolute data integrity across your entire tech stack. Add to that their highly praised Report Studio, which literally lets your staff build custom reports without constantly begging IT for help, plus automated bi-weekly updates that totally eliminate those dreaded, super expensive legacy upgrade projects.
Now, one of their absolute most impactful financial strengths is shockingly simple: unlimited. MemberSuite offers unlimited user licenses. So why does this actually matter to you as an executive? Well, it provides absolutely critical predictability for your budget. Your organization isn't going to be financially penalized with annoying per-seat pricing every single time you hire a new staff member or need to give a committee leader system access. As your operations scale up, your core software costs remain incredibly stable. But of course, there's no such thing as a perfect system, right? Every platform has its constraints, so we need to heavily weigh what you gain versus what you give up. While you're gaining immense structural flexibility and that really strong API access we just talked about, you are absolutely giving up out-of-the-box simplicity. Furthermore, peer reviews frequently point out event management as a relative limitation here. If your association relies heavily on really complex, multi-day conferences or advanced continuing education programs, you're probably going to find yourself needing to integrate an external platform, like say a Cvent or a Whova, to handle those more advanced needs.
We also have to face the realities of implementation and vendor maturity, and honestly, we cannot soften these legitimate concerns. As one verified GetApp review noted, implementation experiences can be deeply frustrating. These experiences vary wildly, and they are heavily correlated with your own organizational complexity, as well as the specific quality of the implementation team that gets assigned to you. Additionally, MemberSuite was actually acquired by GrowthZone back in September 2023. Now, while they promise separate, dedicated development roadmaps, an acquisition inherently introduces organizational risk. It requires very careful vendor scrutiny on your end to ensure their long-term strategy actually aligns with your association's future.
Now, here is exactly where associations often get things completely wrong. MemberSuite touts itself as highly configurable. But listen, high configurability is a major double-edged sword. Yes, you can modify workflows without custom coding. It's kind of like buying a house with a wide-open floor plan where you can literally put the walls wherever you want. But this inherently means a much steeper learning curve and added complexity for your staff. Sales demos can so easily create false confidence here. Building powerful workflows sounds great, but mastering the system to actually do that requires serious, dedicated time and effort.
And here's another critical blind spot where expectations typically crash right into reality. An open API does not mean free automatic integrations. So many executives misinterpret this. An API provides incredible potential to connect your systems, sure, but actually realizing that value, that requires budgeting for internal technical staff or paying external implementation partners to build and maintain those connections. It is definitely not just plug-and-play magic.
So we really need to transition from just a passive review of the software to an active evaluation of your organization. The question you need to be answering isn't just, is MemberSuite a good platform? The real question is MemberSuite the right fit for your specific reality? To figure that out, you have got to prepare your teams to answer some very specific, hard-hitting questions.
Let's run through these high-impact evaluation questions together. First, do we actually have the staff capacity and technical appetite for complex configuration? Second, what is our realistic budget for building those API integrations? Third, are our event needs just too advanced for the native modules? Fourth, what exact post-acquisition roadmap guarantees is the vendor providing in writing? And fifth, will we need to hire external implementation partners to actually get this right? Seriously, answering these 5 questions will determine your true operational fit and the real-world implications of migrating your data. I really want to pause here and reinforce a very important reality when you're making software decisions of this magnitude. AI tools and online research are fantastic. They easily summarize features, they show you comparisons, and they give you that high-level market positioning. But they absolutely cannot reliably determine your organizational fit. A bulleted list on the internet cannot tell you whether a platform's specific trade-offs are acceptable for your unique staff or what your specific implementation is actually going to look like when the dust finally settles.
Ultimately, MemberSuite is an absolutely viable choice for mid-market associations seeking flexibility, but ensuring it's the right choice? Well, that depends entirely on your context and thorough due diligence. And honestly, that's exactly where we bridge the gap. Give SmartThoughts a call at 817-523-9801 or visit www.smartthoughts.net to explore the AMS Selection Toolkit, the Vendor Finder, or to schedule a consultation. We can help you navigate this complex decision with total confidence. So, before you sign that contract, you've got to ask yourself, are you truly ready to adapt your association's processes to the software, or are you falsely hoping the software will magically adapt to you? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy evaluating!